Danielle Cabral made a shocking revelation when she joined season 13 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey last year. She said she was related to Caroline and Dina Manzo, both of whom had Loretta as their maiden names. Danielle's relationship with the Manzos was one of many topics discussed in the opening hour of the season 13 premiere. Teresa Giudice, who was introduced on the show, became close to Danielle despite her association with them. As her introduction last year confirmed, Danielle is a sweet but tough-as-nails mother from Staten Island. In addition to Danielle, the new season featured Teresa's marriage to Luis Ruelas, her rift with her sister-in-law Melissa and brother Joe Gorga, and the Rhong women's attempts to patch things up. Danielle, a full-time cast member, was eager to join the show and challenge the established quo, but she is more involved with it than most people think. What relationship does Danielle of Rhong have with Caroline and Dina Manzo? She is the step-niece of Dina and Caroline. Although the Loretta family tree is a little unclear, it appears that Danielle's father, Philip DiPietro, was married to Anthony Loretta's ex-wife, Cami DiPietro, according to the _Bravoholic on Instagram. Danielle is Caroline's and Dina's step-niece because of their relationship. Candice Loretta is the step-sister of that Rhong cast member. Cami and Anthony are the parents of Candice. Candice frequently appears as a guest on Dear Albie, the podcast hosted by her cousin Ably Manzo. Danielle follows Candice and Jacqueline Loretta on Instagram, along with Caroline's daughter Lauren Manzo. However, it's unclear if she communicates with Caroline and her family. Neither Caroline nor Dina are connected by blood to Danielle. Has Danielle ever been seen by Rhong fans? Danielle made an appearance on MTV in the early 2000s. Danielle's father separated from her mother, Angelica. In 2009, Angelica remarried Peter Morrow. Danielle and her diverse family appear to get along well. She has a stepbrother named Tony Loretta in addition to Candice. It appears that Danielle is a bit of a clout chaser, despite the fact that Teresa, not the Manzos, invited her onto Rhong. MTV viewers were familiar with Danielle from her role as a 21-year-old star on the MTV reality series True Life. I'm a Staten Island girl before she joined the cast of Rhong. Danielle's comeback for Rhong season 14 is not surprising given her experience with reality TV. Despite being on MTV and having family members on Rhong, Danielle says her relationship with Teresa got her on the show. Does Danielle communicate with the Manzos? There's no word on whether they're speaking terms. It's unknown if Danielle communicates with the Lorettas or the Manzos. She doesn't like or comment on each other's Instagram postings, even if she follows some of them, such as Jacqueline and Caroline's daughter Lauren. However, since Danielle doesn't follow Dina or Caroline, their friendship is probably non-existent. Given that Danielle appears to get along well with her daughter Lauren, the two could be romantically involved. Danielle still follows Teresa on Instagram, so simply because she follows them doesn't imply that they are romantically involved. Teresa and Danielle no longer communicate, which might have strained relations with Jacqueline, who is once again close to Teresa. Throughout Rhong season 13 and the first few episodes of season 14, Danielle and Teresa were close. However, Danielle acknowledged in a May interview with Page 6 that she and Teresa no longer communicate following a falling out during season 14 filming. We talked all the way up to the holidays, and then something happened, and I decided to back away, she stated on the virtual reality program. Danielle added that the incident that made her retreat happened off-camera. When that Rhong season 14 reunion is filmed later this year, she does want to bring it up. Danielle is connected to the Manzos and Lorettas, even though she doesn't share many pictures of her blended family online. Danielle might just not be that connected to this familial group. Since Danielle isn't talking to her father or brother right now, It's obvious that she cuts people off when she feels the need to protect her family. Danielle's feuds on The Real Housewives of New Jersey seem to go on forever now that she's also feuding with Teresa. In the endlessly tangled world of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, family ties often come with a twist of drama, a splash of loyalty, and a whole lot of confusion. As season 14 unfolds with new feuds, fragile friendships, and lingering loyalties, fans are asking a particularly juicy question. How exactly is Danielle Cabral connected to Caroline and Dina Manzo? Danielle, the Staten Island firecracker who burst onto the RHONG scene with her own brand of boldness and boutique flair, may not bear the Manzo name, but dig a little deeper and you'll find some unexpected family threads running through the Garden State. And like most things in RHONG, those threads are frayed with tension, stitched with history, and tangled in past wounds. The Manzo legacy, a central force in RHONG history. Before Danielle Cabral even appeared on The Real Housewives of New Jersey, the Manzo family name was a cornerstone of the franchise. Caroline Manzo, one of the original housewives, became known for her strong moral compass, quick wit, and unwavering loyalty to her family. Her sister Dina, who also appeared in the early seasons, brought a more spiritual and glamorous energy until family fractures pushed her out of the spotlight. Though once incredibly close, Caroline and Dina eventually experienced a very public falling out that tore through their family like a storm. Their strained relationship became one of the most heartbreaking off-camera dramas in RHONG history, with fans divided on loyalty and blurred lines. The cause of their rift has never been fully disclosed, but it's widely believed to stem from deep-seated issues involving family dynamics and outside relationships, including Dina's second marriage to Dave Cantin and a horrifying incident involving her ex-husband. Enter Danielle Cabral. Danielle Cabral's marriage into the family tree. Danielle Cabral isn't a blood relative of Caroline or Dina, but her connection comes through marriage. Danielle is married to Nate Cabral, who is the nephew of Thomas Manzo, the ex-husband of Dina Manzo. Thomas is the brother of Albert Manzo, Caroline's husband. In simpler terms, Nate's family is deeply entangled with the Manzos, and through her marriage, Danielle found herself connected to one of New Jersey's most famous and infamous reality TV families. This makes Danielle technically a distant relative through marriage, though she hasn't necessarily embraced or been embraced by the Manzos in any traditional sense. Still, the ties are there, however strained, and in the world of housewives, even the thinnest connection can spark gossip, alliances, and controversy. Danielle's perspective, a careful dance around the past. Danielle Cabral has spoken carefully, but not quietly, about her Manzo connection. On Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen and in Fan Q and As, she's addressed the link, clarifying that while she's connected to the Manzo family through her husband's uncle, she's never met Caroline or Dina in person. Still, that hasn't stopped people from speculating that her presence on RHONG is more than coincidental. Given the deeply personal wounds between Caroline and Dina, including allegations involving a violent home invasion and Thomas Manzo's subsequent legal troubles, Danielle has tread lightly. She's consistently emphasized that she doesn't want to be involved in family drama that has nothing to do with her. But that hasn't stopped fans, and a few castmates, from wondering whether Danielle's connection puts her in an awkward position, or whether she's secretly carrying loyalty to one side of the Manzo rift. Caroline and Dina's feud, a shadow over everything. To understand the tension surrounding Danielle's distant link to the Manzos, it's important to remember how deep the divide between Caroline and Dina really goes. Dina has spoken publicly about feeling betrayed by family members who allegedly sided with her ex-husband Thomas Manzo following a violent attack she and her then-fiancé Dave Cantin endured in 2017. Thomas was arrested and charged in connection with hiring a man to assault Dave, leading to one of the darkest chapters in Rhobh adjacent history. Caroline's decision to reportedly write a letter of support on behalf of Thomas during his legal troubles further fractured her relationship with Dana, who saw it as a stunning betrayal. While Caroline has remained mostly silent about the situation, Dana made it clear she was done with the relationship, possibly for good. So when Danielle enters Rhobh and later reveals a connection to Thomas Manzo's side of the family, the implications become heavy, even if Danielle herself isn't involved in any of the past drama. On Rhobh, family loyalty is more than a storyline, it's the lifeblood of the show. When Danielle's connection to the Manzo family surfaced, it didn't take long for whispers to turn into subtle jabs, especially from cast members who have ties to the past or opinions on where loyalty should lie. Some fans believe that Danielle's link to the Manzo legacy explains her sometimes too eager drive to fit into the group, or her sharp defensiveness when her authenticity is questioned. Others argue that she's simply a woman trying to make her mark without letting past baggage define her. But in a franchise where the past always finds a way to resurface, Danielle's quiet Manzo link may yet become a louder storyline. Final thoughts. In Jersey, the past is never truly in the past. Danielle Cabral's connection to Caroline and Dana Manzo may not be front-page news on Rhobh, but it lingers like perfume in a boutique, subtle but impossible to ignore. Through her marriage to Nate Cabral, Danielle finds herself tied, however loosely, to one of the most complicated family sagas in the show's history. And while she's done her best to stay neutral, Rhobh fans know that neutrality doesn't last long in a world built on loyalty, betrayal, and the occasional dramatic exit. As the Real Housewives of New Jersey continues to evolve, one thing is certain: Danielle's ties to the Manzo family aren't just trivia. They're another thread in the intricate, emotionally charged tapestry that makes this franchise unforgettable.